H-1Bs are getting tougher. Higher rules, tighter fees, and also, most importantly, the uncertainty. But here's the thing that slowly and quietly, there's another visa that is taking the spotlight, and that is the O-1 visa. Well, it is an extraordinary visa, but here's a question that is it really the best alternative of the H-1B? And can people rely on O-1 as compared to H-1B more? Well, a lot to unpack, a lot to uncover. But here's the thing in this webinar, we are going to join by none other than an expert who has a proper knowledge on the O1 visa, who's going to join me in a bit, none other than Attorney Ralph Antonioli, who has 2 decades of experience in the field of immigration. But before inviting him, let me read out this very important disclaimer. By watching our videos, you agree and understand that the information provided by experts and attorneys, including comments and replies from users, is not a legal advice. Use of information at your own risk. All right, friends, now welcome back everybody to Immigration Talk Show. I'm your host, Sam. And today, the session is going to be full of knowledge and very, very important as the topic itself is very important. That is, as H-1Bs get tougher, is O-1 a more viable way to work in the USA? So without any further ado, let me welcome our today's very special guest, none other than immigration attorney Ralph Antonioli. So hi Ralph, welcome back to Immigration Talk Show. We are meeting after quite a long time. How are you doing and how's everything going in immigration? Please let us know.
Hi, Sam. It's good to see you. Good to be back here. Yes, as you can imagine, there's a lot of movement in the immigration world in the United States. So I'm happy to, help your audience, give them more realistic view of what's really going on, because there's a lot of noise, and you got to take it. Many times you got to take it for what it is. It's just noise. So you got to take a step back and focus on what we're really, doing, and what the intention of all these continuous announcements and policy changes really mean. So I'm glad we're having the opportunity to talk again, and hopefully unpack some important topics that will help your audience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Friends, we are going to deeply talk about this topic and make sure, to subscribe our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show because these important webinars we come up on every week so that you guys don't miss any information. Also, we are live on YouTube, available on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and on Instagram as well. So you can also follow us on these many social media platforms and try to keep yourself updated by subscribing to our channel. All right, Ralph. So, as we have been coming across with lots and lots of different updates and new updates in the world of immigration, right? Every day. Very uncertainty, then higher fees is also there, tighter rules are also becoming. So I think if you can also let us know, how you are looking at the future of USA in terms of H-1B visa. Should applicants be like having a backup option like O-1 visa, or should they still be completely relying on the H-1B visa? How do you think? What suggestion would you like to give them?
Absolutely. Thanks for the question. That's a great question. Honestly, I'm gonna be really honest with your audience, because you don't really get a lot of honesty from a lot of people sometimes. But I know that the H-1B has historically been the gateway to the United States. It was certainly for me. I was an H-1B way back when. There wasn't even a lottery, but I'm not going there. Um, but yes, the H-1B is getting much tougher. As you may have seen in the news recently, um, out of they intended to implement a $100,000 fee for new H-1Bs, starting on, I believe it was September 21st. There was a big uproar. I believe there were lawsuits filed. So the administration sort of backtracked and said, okay, this doesn't really apply to this
Mhm.
cap season, but it will apply to the next one, meaning the lottery that will be run in March of 2026. Um, so if you have been granted H-1B before, or if you were selected in the current cap that started on October 1st, you're fine. How this is going to be implemented is still to be seen because, like I said, there's been lawsuits filed because this is going to create a huge burden on companies, employees, and it's going to affect everybody's lives. Unfortunately, the uh, policy changes like this only make the United States less competitive, and that's unfortunate because um, foreign labor is critical to the United States, even no matter what what the political noise says. It's um, immigrant labor is part of the United States. It's how the United States became what it is, and it's a real shame that immigrants are being sort of treated the way they are. But again, I mean, I'm gonna although it's hard. I don't think this is a political conversation. So, but you know. The H-1B is still there. The lottery is still very brutal. I mean, getting selected gets harder and harder every year. Now there's also a new proposal where they want to prioritize a weighted system for H-1Bs starting in the next gap season. Um, as of right now, that's still a proposal, but it's likely to go in the books in the next 2 months or so. Um, I believe what they're trying to do is they're going to try to prioritize cases where the wages are higher and where the education is higher. So this is going to affect a lot of people with bachelor's degrees who, who may not necessarily be on the top one or top five salary wise. But again, it's too soon to make predictions because I mean, honestly, we still don't know how this is going to be implemented, how this is going to work. And again, there's always the possibility that other colleagues are going to step up to the plate and file lawsuits,
Mhm.
that will eventually benefit companies and H-1B applicants. On the other hand, yes, considering how the H-1B is now in the crosshairs of the current administration, I think exploring other options is absolutely a great idea.
Yeah.
Um, keep in mind that each category, each visa has its own requirements.
Mhm.
So I'm going to emphasize during our conversation that it's critical that you work with a lawyer who knows what he's doing and who is, who's comfortable working in the current environment. Because I mean, um, it's challenging, but choosing the right lawyer is critical. I hope that helps your audience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's very well said. Thank you so much, Ralph, for explaining things in a very clear and in very detailed and honest manner. As right now we are lacking somewhere, but that's great. And friends, the best thing is that not only in webinar, but you can also get in touch with Attorney Ralph on the link that is visible on the screen. You just have to visit this link, and you'll get the contact details of him. So go ahead and get in touch with him, share your documents, ask about your case study or any query that you have regarding O-1 visa. He would love to help you out. And with that, Ralph, the great thing is that I can see a lot of questions are also there. Ricky has a lot to ask. Then Cynthia is also here. So hi guys, and thank you so much for joining us.
Excuse me.
Stay tuned for some time, and definitely we are going to take up your question. All right, Ralph. So as we have, talked about the topic and everything, I also would like to ask. Like few days back, I saw a Reddit post. Okay, and there was the applicant who was actually an engineer. So he said that he got his O-1 approved in a week after 2 years of the H-1B rejection. So the question is that what is going on there, and is it actually a proof that O-1 really works, or proof that the H-1B is completely broken? According to this, what do you think?
Yes, that's a great question too. I don't think the H-1B is completely broken, but it's gotten extremely difficult to get. And the main factor about creating this sort of um, mountain for H-1B applicants is the fact that it's a lottery. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you are a fantastic engineer or if you're just an average engineer, your chances are the same in an H-1B scenario. Whereas with regards to the Reddit post that you mentioned, what likely happened here is this person. Let's assume he had a master's degree. He had some inventions. He had some patents. He had some publications. He appeared as a judge. He had a good salary. That's probably what happened. A lot of people actually qualify for an O-1, but they don't know about it because they think it's just for celebrities or for people who got Nobel Prize. Or that's probably what happened with this engineer. He wasn't selected in the cap, and again, he probably had a good lawyer who said, "Okay, let me look at your credentials," and he probably helped them come to the conclusion. I think you qualify for an O-1, and that's what it was. Again, the main difference here is um, the O-1 rewards your qualifications, whereas the H-1B is just chance, right? I mean, of course you have requirements, but being selected is probably the hardest part. Once you get selected, then again, you can work with your lawyer to put together a very strong application.
Mhm.
But whereas in when an O-1, if you meet the minimum requirements, your chances are much higher,
Mhm.
and you don't have to deal with a cap because excuse me, because when you file for an O-1, there is no cap. You can file at any time.
Mhm.
And I think that's what happened with your scenario. He probably had a high salary. He was probably a leader in his field. He has strong credentials. Like I said, technical publications maybe. I want to emphasize, unfortunately, that for H-1B that doesn't matter, but for O-1s it does. And I think that's what happened in this scenario. It's all a matter of, um, I mean, do you have the qualifications or not? Whereas in the H-1Bs,
Mhm.
you have a 10% chance or 15%, depending on what cap you are, of being selected. So that's probably what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very well said, and obviously you have explained us about the biggest benefit of the O1, that there's no cap, lottery, and I mean, the process is smoother as compared to H1B. But Ralph, continuing with this explanation that you have given, why not companies are looking for more O1 applicants? Why are they still stuck with the H1B? If you can let us know, then because the O1 has more benefits and it's little easier also. So why is it like people are still demanding more for the H1B and not for, I mean, as compared to H1B, not O1? What can be the reason behind it?
Yes. I think the main reason is that people just don't understand
Okay.
how the O1 works. They think, like I mentioned earlier, there's still this belief that O1s are only for, the
Mm-hmm.
superstars and who won the Nobel Prize or an Oscar or
Mm-hmm.
something that is, makes them a celebrity, if you will. And that's not the case. The O1 is, it's like I mentioned in our previous meetings. It's a statutory dance where you have certain criteria, and if you meet at least three, depending on what category you're pursuing, you meet the O1 criteria. You said something in the last questions that the O1 is smoother, yeah, than the that the O1 is much smoother than the H1B. I'm sorry. Um, yes, but only if you qualify, right? I mean, it's not like a pay to play scenario where you just pay the fee and you qualify. No, you still have to meet these criteria, and that's probably the biggest
Yeah.
disclaimer here. It may look as it's a pay to play situation, but it isn't. Um, you still have to meet the criteria. You still have to work with your lawyer on a strategy, and but again, it's an alternative to what's becoming an impossible scenario with the H-1B, where you have more demand and there just isn't enough numbers. And I mean, unless they increase the number of H-1B every year, I think this is only going to get worse, unfortunately.
All right. That's great. So I think, friends, you guys are watching and developing a lot of new thoughts and also getting a lot of insights. So I hope till now you're understanding the value of O1, the benefits of O1, also the people, who think that it is only for the celebrities or the Olympic medal, but it's not for them. It's for most of the people who are extraordinary ability, who have those abilities. So I think, Ralph, now as you have explained a lot about the topic, let me also jump into some of our viewers' question. So Cynthia is here and Ron is here, Ricky is here. So I think let's go with Cynthia's question. Cynthia is asking, what are the real risks of filing an O1 compared to an H1B under the current stricter adjudication standards?
Yes, that's a great question, Cynthia. Well, the risks are that the USCIS officer will find that you don't meet the necessary criteria. This is why when I prepare an O1, and I typically try to meet at least 4 or 5 of the 8 criteria that apply for an O1. Why? Because in the event that the USCIS officer doesn't find that you meet one particular criterion, you can fall on the other one. Um, I also want to mention that you also have to be very strategic. I recently spoke with a colleague who had a meeting with a former USCIS adjudicator, and he basically told them that yes, it's great when lawyers send, they send out an application with 1,000 pages, but in reality, these adjudicators only have like 45 minutes, 1 hour to adjudicate the case. So you have to be really strategic. And and if you and if you point out that you meet at least 4 or 5, of course, if you can meet all 8, or if you can meet 6 or 7, um, then you're going to have a better chance. If you only say, okay, I only meet 3, then your chances are probably going to be pretty tough, because if they decide, when I say they decide, this is because it's a very discretionary process. If they decide that you don't meet 1, then you're out. Because so that's why I think strategy is critical. Working with competent lawyer with a lot of experience, and like I said, even though the the O1 requires at least 8 criteria, um, you should try to meet as many as you can to give yourself a better chance. So I hope that. And when it comes to H1B, this is not even a conversation, right? Because H1B, it's first of all, it's chance, and then once you get selected, then I'll probably say that's probably smoother, because you can just work on with your attorney and the employer. But I think that's probably honestly the adjudication standards have not changed much, but you just have to be compelling, and in an O1 scenario, that is. So I hope that answers Cynthia's question.
Absolutely, I think so. And Cynthia, do let us know If you have any follow up question or any other doubt regarding the topic, then please go ahead and put them on the comment section. We would definitely take them. Okay, Ricky is here. So Ricky is saying, what is the way to self-petition O1A if the employer is not willing to file one? What will you need in such a case to help with the filing, and how to find legitimate agents for O1?
Yes, that's a great question. As you know, the O1 is a category that doesn't allow for self petition, but it requires an employer um, sponsorship. One of the ways around that is for the person to, to be the founder of his own company, and by that, I would probably have the company founded, and then maybe think about the O1 maybe in a year since the company was started. So you can say that you can meet the criteria that you hold positions of leadership in a company, even if it's your company. That I mean, it's that's the way around it. About finding legitimate agents, I'm going to be honest. I mean, this is probably tough questions because this is something I've never had to deal with.
Yeah.
But you just have to be very careful because you have to do a lot of vetting, a lot of homework because now with all the noise going on, people are really trying to take advantage of each other, and this is really unfortunate. So you have to. Um, my recommendation would be probably work with a competent lawyer and let him guide you on um, what the best way will be to finding an agent, or if starting your own company and then filing based on the founder of that company will
Mhm.
probably work better. It's a case by case analysis. So
That's right. And Ricky, the best thing is also that for the guidance of O1 visa, you can also get in touch directly with Attorney Ralph. You just have to visit this link that is on the screen. And with that, you'll get the contact details of him. Everything will be there, email ID, website, and also the phone number. So I'm sure that's really going to be helpful for you. Okay, and next is let me take up Imran's question here. So, hi Imran, and I hope you have subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, then please do it right now. He's asking if applying for an O1 while an H-1B renewal is pending, how long does USCIS usually take to approve? And is it possible to continue working during that period? Yes, Ralph.
yes, these are three questions. So let me take them by part. The first question is yes, you can apply for an O1 while your H1B renewal is pending. Um, if you apply on the regular processing, where you're looking at least 6 months, things have considerably slowed down.
Mhm.
Um, but certainly, if you believe you meet the criteria for an O1, you can certainly pursue it. As far as continuing to work, um, if your H1B is valid and you can continue to work on your H1B. You won't be able to work on an O1 until the case is approved. At which point, um, you're going to have to make a decision as to which one you're going to use. The other issue there will be, okay, how are you requesting an O1? Are you asking for a change of status? Are you asking for an independent?
Mhm.
There are many factors. I mean, you can certainly pursue it, but it will depend on the particular um, specificity of the case. Whereas,
Mhm.
for example, what you can do is you can seek an O1 and request consular notification, and just continue with your H1B. That's a possibility. Again, it depends on the specific circumstances. So, but to respond to his question, yes, you can pursue an O1 if you believe you're statutory eligible. Um, if you file a regular processing case, it will probably take at least 6 months. And depending on how the mechanics of your H-1Bs are, you can probably continue working in the United States based on your H-1B. So I hope that helps.
Mhm. All right, all right. Okay, and next up, let's take up Rajendra's question. So, hi Rajendra, and thank you so much for your question. He's saying if I start preparing my O-1 petition now, then can I submit it while my H-1B is still valid, or could they cause problem?
Yes, this is probably identical to the last question. I mean, it's all about strategy. So, um, are you? When does your H-1B expire? What are your future plans? I mean, if likely the best scenario here will be you apply independently for an O-1,
Mhm.
request consular notification, you stay in the US on your H-1B, uh, and once your O-1 is approved, you can probably leave the United States, get an O-1 visa, and come back as an O-1. That's probably going to be the cleanest way to do it, um, so that you don't jeopardize the H-1B and your ability to stay I mean, uh, employment authorized while the O-1 is. It's You need to find a way to make it absolutely independent from the H-1B. So, because if you file an O-1 in the United States and you request that they change your status, then
Mhm.
that's complicated. Okay, that can affect your H-1B. So, in this particular scenario, and not knowing all the details of the particular case, I'll probably lean towards securing an O-1 independently, not not not, not do anything with your current status if you're in the United States with an H-1B, request consular notification, and once your O-1 is approved, then you can decide what to do, whether you want to continue on your H-1B or you can leave the United States, get an O-1 visa stamp, and come back. So,
All right, that's wonderfully explained. Thank you so much, Ralph, for taking these questions very patiently. And it's almost time. So I think let me go ahead with my last question to you. And as you have explained a lot. So lastly, what are your suggestion or what are your thoughts on as H-1Bs get tougher? Is the O-1 a more viable way to work in the US? What are your thoughts on that?
yes, yes, absolutely. The H-1B is absolutely getting tougher. There's no way around it, and it's only going to get tougher, I think. Um, what I would suggest your audience is to stay in touch with a competent lawyer. Don't let the noise be be your driver, if you will. Um, and yes, the O-1 is always available, but if you can meet the criteria, again, it's important to know that you can prepare your O-1 qualifications. It's going to take some time, but you don't have to get a Nobel Prize or be in movies or um, be the inventor of something that changes the whole world. You just need to argue that you are on top of your field, and it requires strategy, requires working with a good lawyer, and most of all requires patience because it's going to take time to build your O-1 credentials. But yes, this is something absolutely that
Mhm.
it's an alternative to the H-1B. But again, if you can meet it, and working with competent lawyers is probably the best way to go. And
Yeah.
um, yes,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think these were very important pointers that you have mentioned, Ralph. But before you let you go, we have two more participants, so I don't want to upset them. So can I take Yash comment, and after that, if you can wrap up, then yeah, we can tell them. So the comment is that Yash is asking, I'm a BSBA finance student in my senior year. I will be graduating spring 2026. So how do I get a job in the current economy, and do I have scope for O-1, or I just stick to H-1B or any other visa options?
Yes, great question, Yash. Again, it depends on what you have done in the past. Just a bachelor's in finance is probably not going to be enough with for an O1 from the get go. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you haven't done other things that may qualify you for an O1. Maybe you've written articles. Maybe um, you have patented something. You have um, been featured in publications. Um, if I were in your shoes, I would probably see if probably dig in your resume, see what you have done in the past that would help us meet one the criteria set forth for H-1Bs. I'm sorry, for O-1s. And but I still wouldn't completely discard the H-1B. I mean, if you can get
Yeah.
someone willing to sponsor you, I mean, I will definitely pursue that. Unfortunately, you have a lottery to deal with, but um, I mean, it really it requires a lot of strategy. It requires, okay, let's see let's look at your resume. Let's see how we can turn it into an O1.
Mhm.
The secret, I mean, it's not really a secret, but it's you just gotta meet those
Yeah.
criteria, and the more of them that you meet, the higher your chances of getting the O1. That's really the bottom line when it comes to O1s.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ralph, for taking up this question. And Yash
Of
also,
course.
I hope you are happy with the answer. In case you are having any follow up, then please put them on the comment section. Okay, and now let's take up a Jitendra question. As Jitendra is asking, firstly, he's asking planning a trip for visa stamping is 3 OI 1 days reasonable, or should I shorten my trip?
30 to 31
Only
days.
31 days, 30
30
to
to 31 days.
yeah.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Let me see. Is this are you what type of visa are you trying to travel in? I mean, is this for an H-1B visa or is this for a visitor's visa?
For H-1B.
Oh, okay. Um, well, I mean, I think that's still reasonable. I mean, I wouldn't probably do it for more
Mhm.
than 35 days, just because um, if you're traveling for visa stamping, I mean, you got to know that this is a very subjective process, and as long as you have all the documents with you, bring a letter of your employer making sure that you're going to have a job when you come back. Um, this is, I often say, you got to outsmart them. So um, just go and come back prepared. The more you have ready, the less they're going to be willing to ask questions. Go get your stamp. Make sure you bring, current pay stubs, letter from your employer saying that yes, he's going to be. I mean, he's got a job offer, even if 2 weeks have gone by since you got your visa stamp. Make sure you have everything with you when you come back, so that you can be pretty straightforward that you're actually coming back to reassume a job that you already had, or
Mhm.
whatever the situation may be. It's um, but the bottom line, 30 31 days, that's pretty reasonable. I mean,
Mhm.
as long as you carry with you the appropriate documentation to show that you actually have a job in the US, that shouldn't be a problem.
All right. All right. That's great. So, with that, I think, Ralph, thank you so much for being here. And that's all for today's webinar. We have covered a lot of questions, and I'm so happy that a lot of viewers have also joined us. And they still have questions, but a few of the questions are tricky. I'll say that those are a little off topic. So, it would be great if you can stick to a topic, because that's how we are trying to cover. And this is the topic about $100,000 we have covered in different webinars. So you can go ahead and check up those episodes where I'm sure your doubts going to be clear. But with that, Ralph, thank you so much for being here. It's always an honor to have a show with you. And you have unpacked a lot of doubts, you have given a lot of insights. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. And I hope we are going to have another very amazing session as usual.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sam. You guys take care. And, if anyone in your audience has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to, entertain whatever, however I can help during these times of uncertainty. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I'm sure, friends, you're going to get in touch with Attorney Ralph Antonioli. Here's the link, and you'll definitely visit this link and you'll get the contact details of him. Well, with that, that's all for today's episode. We have covered a lot about the O-1 visa. We have talked about the eligibilities, benefits, and also is it going to be the best alternative of the H-1B visa. Still doubt, still any confusion, don't hesitate to put them on the comment section. Even after this live stream ends, we are still going to get in touch with you and provide you the best answer, the best solution that we can be able to do. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are Immigration Talk Show. And we are also live on YouTube, available on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and on Instagram as well. So that's all for today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sam, signing off for now. Goodbye, everyone, and take care.